There's an elephant and donkey both on shaky ground, but we got the truth and we gonna shout it loud. From the healthcare to taxes, they can't hide from us. With a wink and a nod, we expose all the fuss. Educating the masses with a smirk on our face, bringing clarity to the headlines in this crazy race. From the White House to your house, we cover it all, putting humor in the facts, we're having a ball. Oh no, America, let's get real and laugh, teaching you the politics with a little bit of sass. Current events and headlines that blow your mind, only on Oh No America you'll find.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Oh No America. It's me, your hostess with the mostest, Nora, in the garage. I'm just texting my mods here. Sorry for the delay. I had to go to the loo. And then for those of you guys tuning in, look at this. I'm getting my blood pressure monitored for 24 hours with this thing that, crap, Anamka. I'm going to take that off and put it back in my pocket, but I just wanted to show you guys. It's going to go off every 20 minutes. It just failed a second ago because I was typing. So I'm just going to put this in my pocket of my pants. Another reason why I wear the men's pants, because they have pockets that are real pockets. Oh, see, it's beeping at me. It's going to do it right now. So I have to be quiet. Please hold. Holy cannolis. Okay, so because I had messed up the last one, it really took its sweet bippy time with that. And it squeezed really hard that time. It was mad at me. This little machine was like, do you know what? Do you know what, lady? Just sit still and be quiet because I do my job now. Like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, little cuffy cuff. Okay, everybody. Yes, I'm checking out hard stuff right now. Do not be alarmed. I'm in good hands. But for those of you who are just on my last stream on What's Up with Nora, then yeah, you know the sitch. I talked about it this morning on Gen Exercise while I was walking, that I was going to be doing that, and I'm doing it tomorrow, probably after Gen Exercise. I will return to the place from which I got this equipment and give it back, and then they can analyze it. Analyze all the readings, and then my doctor will send me a message in the KP app. Tell me what it means. There you go. So today, we are going to, of course, be going over, once again, Project 2025. Because, guys, y'all, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. And so we're just going to keep doing it. We're just going to keep doing it. And I'm going to also do this. We're going to do. I just did it on my other channel, but I'm going to get it in here right now. We're going to put a sale back on the website, 15% off on, I did that already. Try that again. You know when you type something and it just doesn't type? It's just rude. It's just extremely, extremely rude. And I feel like I already did this before, but like they really want you to make sure that when you set up a promo, that any extra charges, like if your promotion is too big, you have to pay the difference because there's still the cost of the product. The product doesn't go on sale. The cost to me doesn't go on sale, right? The cost to you guys goes on sale. That's how that works because this isn't a tariff. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. All right. Let's just save that. There we go. All right. So now, just make sure it's there. Boom, boom. There you go. Bob is your uncle. The site is good. All right. So you can go here. I'll just pull it up here for y'all. If you guys haven't already, go to Oh No America. We've got some new stuff here. We've got our Samuel L. Jackson liberal. Thank you very much. You know who you are, who gave that to me. I'm going to, Aubrey, of course. We have our Regina George liberal merch. And of course, our Oh No America merch. Beanies, hats, flags, mugs. Oh No America. There you go. Please get in there. Get your Christmas presents. It's 15% off. All my stores are having 15% off, guys. I have to put it up on Gen Exercise. But the What's Up with Nora, everything. There you go. There you go. Melody, I'm sending you love. Sending you love, my friend. All right. Let's get into it. We are at chapter 2, y'all. Office, Executive Office of the President of the United States. Let's just make this the whole Hazagaza. Where did... Okay, that's fine. All right, here we go. Let me put up my disclaimer here. Okay, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use purposes, such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All rights go directly to the hundreds of people who wrote this insane document. No copyright infringement is intended. All right. I love it that you got your shirt, Cuddly Floof, in Scotland. Yes. Let me know what people's reaction is to the Oh No America shirt in Scotland. I'm just stoked that it's in another country. That is amazing. All right. Here we go. In its opening words, Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution makes it abundantly clear that the executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America. Yes. That enormous power is not vested in departments or agencies, in staff or administrative bodies, in non-governmental organizations or other equities and interests close to the government. Now, pause. Pre-K pause. At the time that the framers, founders, however the fuck you want to call them, wrote this document, there weren't that many people, and we had 13 states. 13 of them. So we didn't need all the accoutrement to assist in all these other pieces of governance, right? One dude could do, like Lincoln, even in the 1800s, was fucking having, come meet Lincoln Fridays, and he sat there for hours on Fridays and fucking talked to people. I think he's the last president who did that. Okay? So, yeah, as you grow, departments get added. That's just normal. It's a normal part of growth. All right. The president must set and enforce a plan for the executive branch. Sadly, however, a president today assumes office to find a sprawling federal bureaucracy that all too often is carrying out its own policy plans and preferences, or worse yet, the policy plans and preferences of radical, supposedly woke faction of the country. The modern conservative president's task is to limit, control, and direct the executive branch on behalf of the American people. This challenge is created and exacerbated by factors like Congress's decades-long tendency to delegate its lawmaking power to agencies, bureaucracies, the pervasive notion of expert independence that protects so-called expert authorities from scrutiny, the presumed inability to hold career civil servants accountable for their performance, and the increasing reality that many agencies are not only too big and powerful, but also increasingly weaponized against the public and a president who's elected by the people and empowered by the Constitution to govern. So basically, they are trying to say that all these other people confuse the works, right? They're just mucking up the works here. And we just need to keep it simple, stupid. We're going to do the KISS method here with the presidential office, which I don't agree with, but that's what they want. In Federalist number 47, James Madison warned that the accumulation of all powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary, in the same hands, whether of one, a few, or many, and whether hereditary, self-appointed, or elective, may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny. Regrettably, that wise and cautionary note describes to a significant degree the modern executive branch, which, whether controlled by the bureaucracy or by the president, writes federal policy, enforces that policy, and often adjudicates whether that policy was properly drafted and enforced. Okay. Okay. Donnie is not popular over here. Thank you, Cuddly Floof. Thank you so much for that, Cuddly Floof. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The overall situation is constitutionally dire, unsustainably expensive, and in urgent need of repair. Okay, yeah, our government's been fucked up for a long time. That's facts. Oh, I keep needing to yawn, but it's also because after finishing my last show, guys, I'm out of breath. Hang on. Exactly. Oh, now what? Exactly. The White House switchboard will be lighting up with all the calls that the bureaucracy was set up to handle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure the president wants to take all those calls. Absolutely, he should take every single one of those calls. The great challenge confronting a conservative president. I'm sorry for making you yawn, Joe. They are contagious. The great challenge confronting a conservative president is that the existential need for aggressive guys. Notice the wording they use throughout this, like a salvo, aggressive. It's very, they're just invoking war terms here constantly. For aggressive use of the vast powers of the executive branch to return power, including power currently held by the executive branch to the American people. Okay, so he wants to rip power back from some people, but then throw some back to us. I'm not liking how this is sounding. Okay. Man, I can't see out of this eyeball. I'm sorry. There we go. It's like an eyelash was like stuck in there. Success in meeting that challenge. Let me fix this. This is driving me nuts that it's like not at the bottom. Okay, sorry. Success in meeting that challenge will require a rare combination of boldness and self-denial. Boldness to bend or break the bureaucracy to the presidential will, and self-denial to use the bureaucratic machine to send power away from Washington and back to America's families, faith communities, local governments, and states. So now the churches are in charge? We have a separation of church and state for a reason. For fuck's sake. Fortunately, a president who is willing to lead will find the executive office of the president the levers necessary to reverse this trend and impose a sound direction for the nation on the federal bureaucracy. The effectiveness of those EOP levers depends on the fundamental premise that it is the president's agenda that should matter. It is the president's agenda that should matter to the departments and agencies that operate under his constitutional authority. And that as a general matter, if the president's chosen advisors who have the best sense of the president's aims and intentions, both with respect to the policies he intends to enact, just like what he's dreaming about, guys. Not even what's written, nothing. With respect to interests that must be secured to govern successfully on behalf of the American people. He intends to enact. This chapter focuses on key features of and recommendations for several of the Executive Office of the President's EOP important components. Here we go. U.S. Office of Management and Budget. Here we go. OMB assists the president in the execution of his policy agenda across the government by employing many statutory and executive procedural levers to bring the bureaucracy in line with all budgetary, regulatory, and management decisions. Properly understood, it is a president's air traffic control system with the ability and charge to ensure that all policy initiatives are flying in sync. 1,000 points of light, and with the authority to let planes take off and at times ground planes that are flying off course. OMB's key roles include developing and enforcing the president's budget and executing the appropriations laws that fund the government, managing agency and personnel performance, procurement policy, financial management, and information technology. Developing the president's regulatory agenda, reviewing new regulatory actions, reviewing federal information collections, and setting and enforcing federal information policy, and coordinating and clearing agency communications with Congress, including testimonies and views on draft legislation. I'm confused right here on what that means in terms of draft. Like, are we talking like a rough draft of legislation, or are we talking about the actual draft? Like militarily. I have to be quiet for a minute. Please hold. Please read the preamble while I say quietly. Okay, and I'm back. Okay. Well, I went a little early, but that's okay. It only gave me the one beep. When it messes up, it's like beep, beep, beep. Then it's really mad. Yeah. So it goes every 20 minutes. And then when I go to bed, it goes every half an hour. So this is going to go all night. I told my wife to put her earplugs in so the beeping doesn't bother her. She's very sensitive to sound. So, yeah. To draft legislation is simply write it up in the hope of getting. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But the way it's written, I don't know. It just, the other kind of draft came up in my mind. But I get you. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. All right. OMB cannot perform its role on behalf of the president effectively if it's not intimately involved in all aspects of the White House policy. In all aspects of the White House policy process, and lacks knowledge of what the agencies are doing. It needs to have its ears to the ground. Ears to the ground. Okay. Internally to the EOP, ensuring that the policy formulation procedures developed by the White House to serve the president include OMB is one of any OMB director's major responsibilities. A common meme of those who intend to evade OMB review is to argue that where resources are not being discussed, OMB's participation is optional. This ignores both OMB's role in all downstream execution and the reality that it has the only statutory tools in the White House that are powerful enough to override implementing agencies' bureaucracies. Interesting. Who is... So Trump has picked that his pick for OMB General Counsel is Mark Paletta. And his choice for Assistant Attorney General of the DOJ Civil Rights is Harmeet Dillon. Who is this guy? Dang it. This guy, fun. He doesn't look crazy at all. He's an American attorney who served in the roles in the first Donald Trump administration. He served as general counsel. Oh, so he was general counsel of the OMB in the first one. Oh, and then he was chief counsel and assistant to VP Mike Pence. Oh, good. He's besties with Clarence Thomas and his wife. No nepotism here. No nepotism whatsoever. Okay. Oh, anyway. So this is the guy who, according to this document, is going to be at every meeting. Every meeting. The director must view his job as the best, most comprehensive approximation of the president's mind as it pertains to the policy agenda, while always being ready with actual options to affect that agenda within existing legal authorities and resources. So he's basically got to do, what was that thing that Carson used to do? The psychic thing. I can't remember the guy's name. But yeah, Karnak. He's going to do an amazing, this is the amazing Karnak for the Trump administration. This role cannot be performed adequately if the director acts instead as the ambassador of the institutional interests of OMB and the wider bureaucracy to the White House. Yeah, don't, ew. You have to act large and in charge, okay? large and in charge. Once its reputation as the keeper of commander's intent is established, then and only then does OMB have the ability to shape the most efficient way to pursue an objective. Okay, so this is, guys, even though they keep saying the power needs to be back in the president's hands, they're making sure that these key people around the president, boop, 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 are actually going to be the puppet masters that are going to be telling the president what and where to do things and how. Externally, the director must ensure that OMB has sufficient visibility into the deep caverns of agency decision-making. One indispensable statutory tool to that end is to ensure that policy officials, okay, the program associate directors managing the vast resource management offices, personally sign what are known as the apportionments. In 1870, Congress passed the Anti-Deficiency Act to prevent the common agency practice of spending down all appropriated funding, creating artificial funding shortfalls that Congress would have to fill. The law mandated that all funding be allotted or apportioned in installments. This process, whereby agencies come to OMB for allotments of appropriated funding, is essential to the effective financial stewardship of taxpayer dollars. OMB can then direct on behalf of the president the amount, duration, and purpose of any apportioned funding to ensure against waste, fraud, and abuse, and ensure consistency with the president's agenda and applicable laws. So basically, OMB is going to be the recess equipment monitor. You got to sign out that kickball and you better fucking bring it back, or you're going to be on trash duty. That's what's going on. The vast majority of these apportionments were signed by career officials, the deputy associate directors, until the Trump administration places responsibility in the hands of the PADs and thereby opened wide vistas of oversight that escaped the attention of policy officials. The Biden administration subsequently reversed this decision. No director should be chosen who's unwilling to restore apportionment decision-making to the PAD's personal review, who's not aggressive in wielding the tool on behalf of the president's agenda, or who is unable to defend the power against attacks from Congress. It should be noted, yes, this is how they're going to starve out the agencies. OMB is going to be like, did you really need more pencils? I don't think so. Why can't you guys be like the teachers and be resourceful and just go to Office Depot and get yourself some more, okay? Okay, bye. It should be noted that each of OMB's primary functions, along with other executive statutory roles, is carried out with the help of many essential OMB support offices. The two most important offices for moving OMB at the will of a director are the Budget Review Division and the Office of the General Counsel. The director should have a direct and effective relationship with the head of the BRD, considered the top career official within OMB. This budget dude, he's the, okay? And transmit most instructions through that office because the rest of the agency is institutionally inclined toward its direction and responds accordingly. So don't talk to all these other people that are probably in your chain of command. Just go directly to the dude, because we don't want to, we don't want people like, poking their nose. The BRD inevitably will translate the directions from policy officials to the career staff, and at every stage, it is obviously vital that the director ensure that this translation is an accurate one. In addition, many key considerations involved in enacting the president's agenda hinge on existing legal authorities. The director must ensure the appointment of a general counsel who is respected, yet creative and fearless in his or her ability to challenge legal precedents that serve to protect the status quo. This is vital within OMB, not only with respect to adequate development of policy options for the president's review, because the president isn't crafting that, okay? But Also, with respect to agencies that attempt to protect their own institutional interests and foreclose certain avenues based on the mere assertion and not proof that the law disallows it or that. Conversely, right, you can't just tell somebody that's against the law. You have to show them. Show them that the law disallows it or that, conversely, attempt to disregard the clear statutory commands of Congress. Yeah, and just do what Congress says. Don't get it twisted. Just fucking do it. Fuck the law. They'll make another law, you know. In general, the director should empower a strong deputy director with authority over the deputy for management of the PADS, the Office of Information Regulatory Affairs, to work diligently to break down barriers within OMB and not allow turf disputes or lack of visibility to undermine the agency's principal budget, management, and regulatory functions. OMB should work toward a one OMB position on behalf of the president and represent that view during the various policy-making processes. Bouger! The United States today faces an untenable fiscal situation and owes $31 trillion. To whom? To China. Yeah. On a debt that is steadily increasing. Yeah. That's why Trump hates China so much, because we fucking owe them so much money. The OMB director should present a fiscal goal to the president early in the budget developmental process to address the federal government's fiscal irresponsibility. Okay. Are you guys going to talk to the Republicans who spend all that shit on military shit that we haven't even ever fucking used? The goal would help to align the months-long process of developing the actual proposals for inclusion in the budget. Though some mistakenly regard it as a mere paper-pushing exercise, the president's budget is in fact a powerful mechanism for setting and enforcing public policy at federal agencies. The budget team includes 6 resource management offices that together with the bureau dude and other components help the director of OMB to develop and execute detailed agency spending plans that bear on every major aspect of policy formation and execution at federal agencies. Through initial priority setting and ongoing supervision of agency spending, OMB's budget team plays a key role in executing policy across the executive branch, including many agencies wrongly regarded as independent. Like the Treasury, like the IRS, those independent agencies. Is that what we're talking about? The RMOs, each of which is led by a political appointee known as the PAD and a career dad, are separated into 6 functional units: national security, natural resources, energy and science, health, education, income, maintenance, and labor. Why are those? What? Transportation, justice, and homeland security. Treasury, commerce, and housing. Why is the Department of Labor and the Department of Education I don't like this. Health. I don't like any of this. Because the RMOs are institutionally ingrained in nearly all policymaking and implementation across the executive branch, they play a critical role in helping the director to implement the president's public policy agenda. However, because each RMO is responsible for formulating and supervising such a wide range of policy details, many granular but critical policy decisions are effectively left to the career professionals who serve across administrations. Yeah. People are literally hired to do all of these tasks because there's thousands of tasks. To enhance the OMB director's ability to help the president drive policy at the agencies, the existing 6 RMOs should be divided into smaller subject matter areas, allowing for more PADs, and each of these PADs should also have a deputy PAD. This expanded pool of RMOs with additional political leadership would enable more comprehensive direction and oversight. Oh, you mean like expanding government? So you want to expand this part of the government. But you don't want to expand. Hi, sweetheart. I'm glad you're home from work. Okay, you're just going to put your shoes away and then head upstairs? That's right. Okay, make sure you shower, sweetheart. I love you.
Oh, of course.
Okay. Yeah, this sounds like a lot of expansion here, guys. This does not sound like, making government small again by any means at all. God, these chapters are really boring. Regardless of whether Congress adopts the president's full set of budget recommendations, the president should reintroduce the concept of administrative pay-as-you-go or administrative pay-go. This simple procedural requirement imposes budget neutrality on the discretionary choices of federal agencies, of which there are many in nearly all areas of policymaking. This simple step forces the executive branch to control what it can control. What are we doing, therapy now? The principle may occasionally yield to other overarching requirements, such as a presidential regulatory budget, but in nearly all cases, administrative pay-go plays a unique and indispensable role in enforcing fiscal responsibility at federal departments and agencies. The president should use every possible tool to impose fiscal discipline on the federal government. Anything short of that would constitute abject failure. Pay as you go. Okay. So are they having like a bake sale to buy like tanks? This is just more control in this centralized area that has no regulation. Hi, sweetheart. Over, yeah. This is so it can be done in secret and not in public. Are you going to go over there? Okay, that's fine. Management. The management office of OMB, the M side, as it's often called, is responsible for carrying out several important agency oversight functions, many of which are statutory. The management team, yeah, I'll tell you, it's the cuff, the blood pressure cuff I told you about this morning. I did at breakfast. We talked about it. Okay, well, you didn't listen. It's okay. I love you. I'll tell you all about it later. Teens. You tell them something and then they don't, yeah. They're like, I don't recall that. I don't recall ever being told that. All right. Well, I don't think I have any more visitors coming, but that's fine. All right. So the M side, as it is often called, is responsible for carrying out several important agency oversight functions, many of which are statutory. The management team includes the following offices led by presidentially appointed Senate-confirmed individuals. Here we go. The Office of Federal Procurement Policy, the Office of Performance Personnel Management, the Office of Federal Financial Management, Federal Chief Information Officer, the Made in America Office, which was added by the Biden administrative. What? I didn't know we added a Made in America office. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. Oh, crap. I got to sit still for a minute. Please hold. Okay, I'm back. Good grief. This is great. Oh, now what? When I had my hysterectomy, come on now, comments. I told the children there would be no more kids. I got a call from the school wanting to know how they could help with my kidney problems, like a game of telephone. I see. Okay. So yeah, I know. I just didn't know we had made like a whole office. I don't remember hearing about that, but that's fine. Sometimes I don't know everything, but we'll see. All right. Each of these offices has a responsibility. Each of these offices has responsibilities and authorities that a president can use to help drive policy across the government. It's vital that the director and his political staff, not the careerists, not those fucking careerists, fuck those guys, drive these offices in pursuit of the president's actual priorities and not let them set their own agenda based on the wishes of the sprawling good government. Wow. Management community in and outside of government. Many directors do not properly prioritize the management portfolio, leaving it to the deputy for management. But such neglect creates purposeless bureaucracy that impedes a president's agenda. How many times are they going to say president's agenda in this fakakta document? I thought the president was supposed to lead the country and enforce the Constitution. I don't recall the framers being like, the president gets to make an agenda, biatch. Like, I get that the president has an agenda. Okay? It's like, they should have some goals. They made some promises, how to fix stuff, blah, 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 blah. But like, really, we know what they're talking about here. OFPP. You down with OFPP? Yeah, you know me. Sorry. I had to do it. This office plays a critical role in leading the development of new policies and regulations concerning federal contracting and procurement. Through the Federal Acquisition Regulatory Council, which is generally chaired by the OFPP administrator, OFPP helps the director to set a wide range of policies for all those who contract with the executive branch. In the past, those government-wide contracting rules have played a key role in helping implement the president's policy agenda. See, now it's policy agenda. It's not just his personal agenda. See, that makes more sense. I think they left policy out before. This office should be engaged early and often in OMB's effort to drive policy, including by obtaining transparency about entities that are awarded federal contracts and grants by using government contracts to push backs against woke policies. And by using government contracts to push back against woke policies in corporate America. So like DEI, so like, having a pride committee. So like, that kind of stuff. We don't want that. Let's not put any more women in leadership. Okay. OPPM. You down with OPPM? Through this office, the director helps federal agencies to establish their performance goals and performance review process. OPPM also works with the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. OPM. Not to be, to establish and manage personnel policies and practices across the federal government. The director should instruct OPPM to establish annual performance goals and review processes for agencies that reflect the president's agenda. OPPM should also be a part of the president's strategy to set and enforce sensible policies and practices for the federal workforce. Okay. Again, we're reflecting the president's agenda. And so far, we know his agenda is to drain the swamp, to have no government. But now they're putting it all in writing here, okay? OFFM, this office helps the director root out waste, fraud, and abuse. What is going on? Fraud and abuse in federal programs. For example, through the Do Not Pay program. should be part of our efforts to save precious taxpayer dollars. Do not pay program? What the fuck is the do not pay program? Does anybody know what that is? I never heard of that shit. Okay. The DNP operates a resource dedicated to preventing and detecting improper payments. DNP is authorized and governed by this act and several Office of Management and Budget. Okay. The authorities generally belong to OMB, which delegated the operational aspects to the Department of Treasury. Do not pay. So what are they saying? So the OFFM, this office helps the director root out waste, fraud, and abuse in federal programs, for example, through the Do Not Pay program. So they're saying that's fraud and abuse and waste when people get overcharged? Oh, fucking hell. Oficio. This office guides the federal government's use and adoption of internet-based technologies to improve government operations and save taxpayer money. 1 second, guys. All right. As a function of its leadership role, right? Seriously, Cuddly Floof. It's making me tired. It's just making me exhausted. This is why we can't get anything done, because we don't know which fucking government do we even talk to about these things? Like, Jesus Christ. Oh. All right, let's get back to it. As a function of its leadership role, it's critical in its interagency discussions on a wide range of technology issues. The office, thus, is an important part of the president's efforts to modernize, strengthen, and set technology adoption policy for the executive branch. Okay. MIAO, please hold for 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Teens on the loose. All right. Guys, I just scrolled through to see how long this chapter is. We're not going to be able to do that today. So we're going to finish this up and we'll go back to regulatory because this chapter has so many different sections like this. And this is page 49 and it goes to page 64. So for all of our sanity and everything else, this is best done in small doses. So let's finish this up here. The MIAO, building on the example and work of the Trump administration, President Biden established this. Oh, this is Made in America office. Okay. President Biden established this office to centralize, carry out, and further develop the federal government's Buy American or other Made in America commitments. Its work ought to be continued and further strengthened. Whoa! Sound the alarms. Sound the alarms. Something that Biden did. They want to continue it and further strengthen Made in America, guys. Holy cannolis. Holy cannolis. Okay, so what have we learned so far here, America? We've learned that while the Republicans say that they don't want any more government, they want it in the power of the people. They want to create more specific government that is secret and does the things secretly with the president's agenda to make sure that happens. And then we're going to give some stuff to the people like taxes and heartache. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Oh my God. Okay, let's do comments here. Hi, Emily. Hello, Nora, chat, and mods. Thank you for all you do. Breaking news. Oh, TikTok is appealing the ban. And Trump has a warm spot for it. What? Let's go look. Let's go look. Okay, so they're at the Supreme Court. So here we go. Here we go. There we go. Let's get Emily's comment off here. There you go. All right, we got Snoop. So TikTok files emergency appeal with the Supreme Court to block U.S. ban unless it's sold. And then I guess this is the story here. Let's see what ABC News has to say. Guys, T-Mobile. I love it. Even though I don't work there anymore, I still love it. I get a lot of free shit, free Netflix. Okay, here we go.
Foreign involvement.
Alejandro, I can't hear
We
you.
have not seen.
No, this is about drones. That's it. That's the whole story. We know the drones are coming to get us. Holy cannolis. TikTok asked the Supreme Court to delay, divest, or ban law. TikTok filed an emergency appeal at the Supreme Court on Monday, seeking to delay a law that would ban the video sharing platform nationwide if TikTok doesn't divest from its Chinese parent company. The company's application asked the court to put the January 19th divest or ban deadline on hold until the justices resolve TikTok's First Amendment claims on their normal docket. The act will shutter one of America's most popular speech platforms the day before a presidential inauguration. Oh, weird, right? This, in turn, will silence the speech of applicants and the many Americans who use the platform to communicate about politics, commerce, arts, and other matters of public concern. TikTok's lawyers wrote in the application. I know. And then how is China going to find out where all the riots are? By default, the company's Supreme Court application will go to Chief Justice John Roberts, who handles emergency appeals arising from the D.C. Circuit. Roberts could act on the application alone or refer it to the full court for a vote. The platform asked the High Court to act by January 6th. That's an interesting date. Roughly 2 weeks ahead of the potential ban, to provide app stores and internet hosting providers with enough notice to comply if needed. TikTok brought its fight to the justices after the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit rejected the company's legal challenge to the law and declined to delay the deadline until TikTok exhausted its appeal. Several content creators also asked the Supreme Court Monday to block the law from taking effect. The same group of creators similarly filed alongside TikTok at the D.C. Circuit Court. Was Mom Talk there, guys? Was Mom Talk there? Even a temporary shutdown of TikTok will cause permanent harm to applicants. A representative group of Americans who use TikTok to speak, associate, and listen, as well as the public at large, the creators' lawyers wrote. The law, which gave TikTok's China-based parent company ByteDance about 9 months to divest from the app or face a ban in the U.S. networks and app news stores, was passed by large bipartisan majorities in Congress and signed by President Biden in April. TikTok has claimed that the law violates the free speech rights of both the company itself and its content creators. Well, I'm sorry, ByteDance, you're Chinese in China. You don't have free speech in America. That's you're a foreign entity. You're not a U.S. citizen. That's not how that works. The lower court rejected those claims and several other constitutional arguments TikTok mounted. The appeals court ruled that the law clears the high bar required for constitutional challenges, finding that its significant impacts were justified by the government's national security concerns about TikTok ties to China. The Supreme Court rarely grants emergency relief. One of more than 24 emergency appeals resolved by the full court so far this term, only 2 have been successful, according to the Hill's analysis of the court's docket. The Supreme Court has an established record of upholding Americans' right to free speech. TikTok said in a statement posted to the social platform X. Like, Elon, help us out, man. Help us out, Elon. Today, we are asking the court to do what is traditionally done in free speech cases, apply the most rigorous scrutiny to speech bans, and conclude that it violates the First Amendment. TikTok's application insists its challenge is one of those rare cases, arguing that a delay is appropriate because there's no imminent threat to national security. That is not true. TikTok went on to note how President-elect Trump has expressed sympathy with the video sharing platform. An interim injunction is also appropriate because it will give the incoming administration time to determine its position, as the president-elect and his advisors have voiced support for saving TikTok, the company wrote. Trump voiced opposition to the divest or ban law on the campaign trail and promised to save TikTok. However, the president-elect has offered few details about his plans to protect the app since winning the election. When asked Monday whether he would take steps to prevent the ban from taking effect, Trump said he will take a look. I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok, he said during a press conference at Mar-a-Lago, claiming he won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok had something to do with it. Wow. So once again, Trump is saying a whole lot of nothing. It's up to the Supreme Court. So let's think about this, guys. If the Supreme Court gets it, if John Roberts is going to get this, he can either go, no, they said what they said. This is not free speech. This is not American free speech because we're telling you your company. Oh, hang on. I'm getting all riled up, guys. I have to wait for the cuff to stop doing its thing. It's very tight. Just tighten more. Okay, it's done. So because this entire company, because our information as Americans is being stored on foreign soil by the essentially KGB, the CCP of China, right? Like their, spy wing, okay? And that means that every single thing that Americans do on that app, what you scroll past, what you like, what you repost, what you post, who you talk to on the app, how often you're on it, how long you're on it, what things keep your attention, what you're searching for, all of that aggregate data, okay, that is about our psyche. All of these social media platforms, guys, even this one I'm on right now, YouTube, and I'm very grateful that you're here, is a psychological experiment, okay? This is all psychological experiment, right? But that psychological experiment is telling China, in particular, exactly what to feed to us, exactly what to put in TikTok shop, exactly how to keep us scroll, okay, versus pay attention to what the fuck is going on. Okay, so yes, I agree with the bipartisan members of Congress who said that TikTok is dangerous to national security. That is true. Okay, it's also dangerous to our youth. Now, taking away a singular platform where millions of users are here in the US and they use that for free speech to tell things and also to make money because they sell things and they get advertisement deals and stuff, that part of it sucks. But it's not the only platform to do those things on. It's like tough tits. So they canceled Jordache jeans. So now you have to buy Levi's, That's the way I feel about it. I have a TikTok. I post on it. I'm not that great at TikTok. Some people prefer TikTok. And that's why, guys, you're going to see a lot more creators, myself included, doing vertical streams. Because YouTube is predicting that TikTok is going to be banned. And they want to take over that vertical dopamine hit that, TikTokers are so accustomed to. Which means that also as creators, we are going to have to adjust our content to be short. And, people like me who are doing shows like this that are very informative and important, are going to have to figure it out also. So it's just all an evolution. There's all these things that are going to change, but I don't think Trump's going to save it. I don't think Trump's going to save it ultimately. I think that he will hire some of the people from TikTok in America, because there are engineers here, to try and zhuzh up Truth Social so that he can become like the new TikTok. That's my guess. That's my guess. Trump is large, bloated, and unfortunately in charge. Yes, Aubrey. Yeah, it is amateur years in government in America. I mean, also they're spelling out some stuff in here that is like basic civics, which is breaking my brain a little bit. And also like some things that I forgot. So yeah. Truth seekers in the house. It's interesting how they want less government, yet they want to tell me what I can do with my body. Exactly. President Biden is issuing pardons and clemency for all the prisoners who were let out of prison during COVID and for nonviolent drug violations. Okay. Well, good. Pardon away, Joe. Have a good time. They want to change, birthright citizenship. Don't forget this is in the Constitution, but don't touch the Second Amendment. Yeah, what they want to change it to, what they're proposing, right? What's his face? Baldy McBalderson, who I can't remember his name, with the big head. He looks like a bad guy in like a fucking Lethal Weapon film. Stephen Miller. Now in England, they have birthright citizenship, but one parent has to be a British citizen, right? In order for that child born there to be a British citizen, okay? Stephen Miller wants to take that a step further and say that both parents have to be U.S. citizens in order for their child that's born here to be considered a U.S. citizen. My question, as a descendant of an illegal immigrant, how far back does that go? If you're making both parents be the necessity, right? Because my grandpa, my dad's dad, was an illegal alien from Greece, which means that all 4 of his children are completely illegitimate, which means that my father isn't a citizen of the United States, but my mom is. But then that means that I'm not, right? And my kids aren't. Like, do you see how it like trickles down? Like, so how far back are we rolling this? Does that mean I'm booted out of the United States because technically I'm a descendant of an illegal alien and then my dad is not a real citizen who married my mom, so I'm not a real citizen? And then, you know, that goes for my ex-husband. Like, what? How many people are we offloading? Also, do I get to pick the country I go to if you're going to kick me out? Because I would love, you know, I mean, I'm mostly Greek and Irish, so one of those two would be fabulous. But like, what does that mean? How do you enforce that? You know? I don't get it. I don't get it. If I have need of steel building materials, Biden's auctioning off all the unused materials from the wall. Going cheap will force 47 to go to Congress to beg for more money to resume. I love it. I love it. I wish that I could buy some of that just to have it. That means you're an illegal citizen. Are you in the same boat as me, Aubrey? Okay. Okay. Is it me or did TikTok go right wing all of a sudden? No, I don't. I would say no to that. There are definitely portions of it that are right wing, for sure. But there's a lot of funkadelic shit on TikTok, you know. But here's the deal: the right wing comes in and infects everywhere. That's just what they do. That's just what they do. That is what they do. And what if they were married, right? I know. Yeah, right? Bye-bye, Barron. Bye. But I'm pretty sure, didn't Melania get her status? I don't know. I don't know. All right, guys, that's the portion. Oh, right. Yeah. Correct. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be a mess. I don't know how the fuck they're going to enforce that. Okay, Stephen Miller, you ain't got no immigrants in your family? I don't think so. Oh, after Barron was born. So Barron's an anchor baby. Barron was an anchor baby. Okay. Okay. We should get a t-shirt made that says Anchor Baby Barron. Maybe I'll make one. Oh, Trump makes anchor babies. Well, aren't Ivanka and Eric and Junior all anchor babies also? Because Ivana wasn't a U.S. citizen. The only actual U.S. citizen that Trump is fathered is Tiffany, and he hates her. But Ivanka, Eric, and Junior are all anchor babies. What should we say on the shirt? If Trump has anchor babies, why can't I? Right? Trump has 4 anchor babies, why can't I? There you go. Revoke the Trump citizenry. Something like that. Something like that. All right, guys, I got a jet. I got to make dinner. Thank you guys for tuning in. You won't see me with this on tomorrow because it'll be gone before I do the show because it's only 24 hours. But thank you for hanging in there every time I had to pause here during the show because I had to take another blood pressure. I appreciate you. And I will see you guys all next time. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Oh No, America. I'm your host, Nora Ames. Hopefully this day has been informative, fun, and given you a little sparkle of America. Thank you to my mods, as always, for keeping things cool, chill. And if you guys want some of that sweet, sweet merch, hit us up at ohnoamerica.com.
Politics with a little bit of sass. Current events and headlines that blow your mind. Only on Oh No America you'll find.